Hey everybody, I think here today we need to all come into conference. I think there's a lot that needs to be said. It has come to the Creator and all minds' attentions at this point right now that the Creator has come up with or has given information that is going to be revealed here to the whole community and all worlds right now as we speak. The difference between men and women is a very strong and prehistoric merger. As a man, I have a dick, okay? And everything about me as a man connected to that dick and connected to the way that I work, right? And all that is the reason why I am the way I am. And there's nothing wrong about that because that's the way it is. I have to expel everything all the time. I have to come, I have to shit, and I have to express shit that's in me as a man, right? My reality is manic and depressive. But it's just like a big giant fucking every day. That's what it is. So I'm trying to get you all to understand that there is an agreement between the councils of everyone that's here shared today in this space would like to reveal to you some information about the difference between men and women. Women, everything is sorted for women. Everything, if you're a woman, like literally, and I'm not just talking from some sort of perspective of like, I am, but I'm not. Like, you just are. That's just the way you are. You get everything that I want you to have. In a way that it's like, if you look at it, men are more female. Well, I don't know, it's like saying you're connected, men are more connected to God than women in a different way. It's really a different way. Everything in my attention as a man, I think, is a dick. It goes up. It has to expel. It has to rise. It has to rise. So I see women as different. They have to have a. They don't have to expel at all. But they do. It's mandatory for them to do it in a way that they have to do it every month. And it probably sucks. But it's probably that one or couple days or whatever you go through. It's probably just you experiencing what it means to be a man in that period of time. You have to get rid of something. Anyway, I'm trying to be as nice as possible. Women, I think, are more mechanical. They're built to last. They're built to sustain. But it's always like it's just an easygoing thing. Women's lives are more like, they've got everything nurtured and cared for. Everything happens like that. It's just, and it's sustained by like more like a governing kind of like united woman's front sort of thing. Whereas a man is more like tactile. There's a lot of them, but they're just manic depressive rapists, and creators and genies and shit. Freemason Illuminati fucking readers and writers and poets and creators and fucking everything. Sick. God, the devil, that's who we are. I'm trying to sort of also say that a woman, this sounds misogynistic, but it's like, they say behind every good man is an even greater woman. Behind that even greater woman is her fashion, and is her technology, and is her creations, like, which were created by men. We gave them all their stuff because that's what we do. We excrete stuff. All men do, whether they're doing good or bad, is they pile up shit, emotionally, physically, all that shit. Like, that's why money exists. Men are really the real pussies in this whole thing when it comes to like emotional, outrageous, poetic, religious, scientific, stupid fucking men. That's what men do. Try to create this thing made out of. All I can say, it's just what they are. It's like having to cum your pants every once in a while. It just is. It has to be that way. You always just. I have to make something out now. And that's why women get pretty dresses and all the nice. This is why women get everything. Like, you look at a woman, you just, that's why they're beautiful. That's why they're like just good to look at. They get the nice things, they smell. But I created all that for them because that's what I want. I want them to look pretty no matter what. You need them to, and it's like, so it's like women are like kind of like sex objects. Not sex objects, more like a Barbie doll, sex object, toy. But it's also like a computer, an intelligent thing. It is in its own. It's hard to try and merge the identity when you try to talk about an asexual being in the token between men and women, whether you're gay or straight or trans or even any of that. Like, there really is no, and I mean, if you, it's the way I think about it. Like, a man can never really get a female system, but he can get some shit that'll help him that man created. That, bear in mind, that's important. Man created estrogen and testosterone. They were the ones that made it. It was a man's idea to get that shit out. That's basically what I'm saying. It's like trannies can be real men because real men invented the identity of what women favor themselves to be today. Pretty, smell nice, nice hair, they talk well, everything's great. Like, it's harmonious. Like, it's like that Rick and Morty episode with the women place and then the men are the Gazorpazorps or whatever. It's the thing where Morty gets a fuck doll, right? But it is kind of like that. Like, I see women as more of like a three-dimensional kind of thing. They ask, it gets granted. They have everything that they need, remedies and shit for it. As men has no remedy to anything. He just simply creates stuff, and that stuff can fucking mold into his platform of his fucking story because he's just a poet, a genius. He has to fucking come all the time. He's sexually attracted to the world. He's energized all the time. He goes up and down from manic to higher states of consciousness in a week. He works incredibly hard, breaks his body to drink and ponder the thoughts of the world. Buy shit with the money that he exudes because of how much he does. That's what man is. They just create shit like that like they have to come every fucking. That's basically what I base it down to. Like, it's like but it's like a god thing. You go to the top. It's kind of like, imagine your whole body is an emphasis of what your gender, your plumbing and shit basically does. So you got to look at it as a god thing. That's what man's doing every day. Women, I see it more as like, it's always there in the moment with them. So they've sort of just got to. It's like they've got a way more calmer, nicer, maybe less, maybe a bit like we look at it as a bit sterile in a way. But it's good, it's clean. But man is really about the dirt. Man is about sickness and fucking everything. Shit that ever happened is because of man. A man created it with his God and all that. Like, he made it happen because he had to. He's a poet. He's a genius, right? But women are smart too. But I think women are more like copers. They're at a level where everything. I feel like it's just calm and collected. Women get around pretty easily, I think, no matter who you are. Like, really. As men, I think we're all the same. We're all sort of like. It's why gay people are fashion designers and shit like that. It's really like. The man part of the world is it's not toxic. It's like the vessel of creation. Everything that came from a book or anything interesting. It's written from whatever the fuck men have to deal with all our religion and all that shit. I think women didn't have that much creative effort, but not because they couldn't, they weren't allowed. At the same time, they didn't want to have anything to do with that shit. They would rather create something else which is more comfortable. It's like why. It's why there's air conditioners in cars now. I'd say like the first people that put central heating in a was a woman. It had a different sort of meaning to it. It envelops the whole area. As man is more like a fucking thing that's trying to grow and become greater and greater until it fucking hits the roof and then goes back down. Because it's always trying to push shit out. It just makes sense to me. So women, and I think this is where a lot of jealousy from men come from. That's why men want to be women, is they see that the harmony that they get to experience, which at the same point a woman may look back at it and go, well, that's hell for me as well. For me, your hell is your hell. So don't try to make out that my hell is less than yours. If you're looking at it negatively, like there was a problem, sort of thing like that. But I'd say, in my opinion, I just see the women's side of things moving a lot more calm, rationally. It gets through the job. It's safe. It's calm. It doesn't fucking hurt anyone and shit. It's really good. As a man's one would be the complete opposite. You know, you'd want people to die. You want people to get. You want it to be as proud and as bold and as huge, and in that gross and poetic and shit. So its experience really needs to be caged down by itself, just to rein it in. As a woman's one's more like a. Yeah, you could look at it like that. Women are the prison guards and men are the prisoners. In their relationship, like women are the security and the higher. Everything's good. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to say it's good over there, and that's why men get jealous and want to become women, because they think they can experience what it means to be that. I don't think you'll ever experience what it means to be that. I think you can experience a fraction of it, maybe a percentage of it, but you always have to deal with the fact that what you are. It's in your mind. It's in your body. It's in your story. Okay, it's people are fucking lying to themselves when they say they aren't this or they aren't that. It's two things, seriously, and what these two things can fucking do to try and be like the other one. So anyway, that's why transsexual is a man's invention. Man invented testosterone and estrogen synthetics. You know, they did it. Yeah, sure, women can get a hold of it, but it's kind of like you're taking testosterone, you're taking estrogen synthetically. You're taking it, but you're not really. It's different. This is where this weird merger becomes into it, where it's like you've got to rely on the product in order to contain the experience. But I see that as a man's thing. But then again, women's world, women spend a lot of money on shit, so. It's like a border. That's the kind of the one thing that they're going here. You can be whatever you want as long as you've got our help. We'll give you everything you need to become a woman or a man. I don't really see it like anything that really matters. I think that most of the best parts of women are actually created by men. Dresses, fucking skirts, the attention to appeal from their bodies because their bodies are beautiful. It all came because I was the one that saw them attractive, right? So I wanted to give them pretty shit. I want to give them all the nice shiny shit, the visual stuff. I want to give it to them. That's a lot of women came from mankind. A lot of women came from men. Like men were the ones that made the money, made the things happen. Like we built you castles. Think about it that way. Like we built you your dress, we built you your jewelry, your perfumes, all this shit. Because that's like our creation. We dressed you up. But it's good, like you get the best in the world. That's why men are more, I don't know, you can dress a man up and you can do all that shit too. Different concept. Man's doing it for his dick. The woman's kind of doing it for her pussy, but I think she's kind of doing it more for that guy's dick. because I think this is an explanation between the way the two sexualities work. I don't think women need to have. Really, they could do without it, actually. Probably. They probably only need to have a period, and that would extinguish everything that's going to be it's like a huge release that they get every week, every year, every month or whatever. Every month. But it's conditional within it's an unloading process of getting rid of shit. As a man, I see it's completely different. That their shit's building up throughout a month. A man is building up throughout a day and a week. It's faster and he's the one promoting the build up. I think women would actually function a lot better if they didn't care about any build up. Because they already have a build up that's been going up slowly up until the end of the month. So man's doing 50 build ups and explosions while a woman's going through one period. So, which makes sense. But I'm associating periods with coming with men. I'm putting those two as those are the two processes that are connected. It's not women fingering themselves and men jerking their dicks. It's literally women having periods and men coming. And what that does to a person, man has to, if he keeps himself in that way, I mean, I'm sure there are dudes that stop, but I think shit happens to him and it's important. Like, you literally, and you'll have discharge in your nighttime. You have to fucking come. A man has to come. And that's what everything is involved with him creating and doing everything that he does. Women they don't have to, they're going to have a period. Yeah. And then you can't take away everything, all the plumbing on the inside. You replace it, maybe. Like, if you could switch them around. But that's not available yet. But, like, what an asexual being would be. It really would have, it'd be lacking all the parts of what it actually means to be a human being in any form. Or, it's like being an android. You don't have a dick or a pussy. You don't have these primal needs of gender that actually support complete structured way to move in the world. So I don't know what an asexual being would be. Like, because you're not, to really get there, you have to take everything out. Or you have to be born. Because even a hermaphrodite is, that's interesting too. Like a hermaphrodite. A man and a woman. I find that shit scary. I think that if there were any God really out there people, they'd probably be hermaphrodites. Transsexual is different to me. I see trans as a man using the power of what he did to woman on himself. That's how you get that thing that you see in women. It's that beauty, that purity. It's all the shit that her whole envelopment of a woman's existence is in her fucking famous magazine, Newsweekly shit. Beauty fucking magazine. It's in there. Everything about them. They've got all nice shit. They smell good. All that shit. Men can do that too, but men really are the ones that created that shit. I look at men as being a fucking dirty old dog. Like, sick old pervert, man. Like, he's just the craziest, but he's the most awesome dude in the world, too. It's like he's everything. That's what man is. But women are like, hey, it's the same thing, but it's like, different. I see them as being more like, they can live with it. Men are always living and dying about it all the time. Because they're fucking, theirs is different. Unified on the level of people have to eat and shit, and drink, and how drugs affect you. But this is when you're bringing out the third identity, which is what we can do with the shit that we find on the planet. Which is gonna, it might poison my theory right here. But at the moment, I see men and women as completely normal. Gay, straight, trans, any of that shit. I don't really find it any. I think you can do, if you're a man, you can do a lot of shit to yourself. If you're a woman, you can do a lot of shit to yourself too. Does it make you more of what I am? It'll just be you doing something else, like being in a different thing. That'll be interesting, but I'm just trying to talk about basic, fundamental shit that you can just go, now I know why I'm fucking weird and the way I am. It's 'cause you're a fucking man. It's 'cause you're a human being. It's nothing to do with what's happened to you or anything. Every man on this planet is like a god. He has a god along with him, and the devil. He's a genius. He creates shit, talks shit. Fucking has to come all the time. Then you got women who are like goddesses. They're nurtured, natured. They've got everything they need. They can get anything that they want. Their world, they're not in pain. Most of them are doing fucking great, and they smell good, and they look good, and they can see that they look good, and they know that you think that they look good, and they know what they can do to you, or what you can do, what you will do with them if they came to you, and what you being a man. You know, if you're rich, you're gonna throw them a lot of money. If you're sexy, you're gonna do lots of sexy shit. It's gonna make them hot. Like, so that's what it is. It's like, you gotta look at this not. I don't know. You gotta look at this like it's a real reality kind of thing. And that's why we are the way that we are. I think people are trying to. This whole identity of psychosis and all that shit. And I go, yeah, that's just. Now I look at it, it's like. It's just because I'm a genius. Like, I'm a creator god. Fucking. I'm a man. I'm not a god. God rides with me. The devil rides with me. They come in and they fucking. I'm reaching them when I'm trying to get my highest. And that's where my story comes in and connects with the gods, and this is fucking shit. I think women can do that shit too, but it's different. I think women are more like knowing a matrix, like in this always enveloping harmonious ball of everything gets tighter and cooler and shit for women and all that, whatever. Like in safety, it's there, it's gonna stay. As men, it's something, it's dying. It's dying! We gotta fix it! So we fix it, we build it, it's better than it was! Now we have to have a war. So, it's what it is. Like, man. That's it. That's all you need to know. Why you are the way that you are. I'm fucking honored. Hats off, ladies and gentlemen. I know exactly how you motherfuckers work. I'll try and get on this shit a little more instead of my crazy shit.